Today is Tuesday, Parashat Vayera. In the Parashah of this week, there is an episode that teaches us two very important lessons. One of them, and they both have to do with the episode of Avimelech, when Avraham comes to this place where Avimelech was the king. He tells his wife to represent that she is his sister rather than his wife, because he was afraid for his life. And sure enough, because Sarah was so beautiful, she was taken to the palace of Avimelech. Well, when she was taken to his palace, before he had a chance to do anything, his palace and all his people were smitten with a type of illness that all their orifices were blocked. And Avimelech has a vision at night that there is something wrong. He realizes that, of course, something must have happened. And he tells Avraham, "Why didn't you tell me that it's your wife?" And Avraham says, basically he was saying, you guys are great people, nice people, etc. Maybe you're ethical, honest, educated, but there's one problem. Rak en yirat Elokim b'makom hazeh. It's a big problem that there is no fear of God in this place. And since there is no fear of God in this place, when there is no fear of God, people can murder, can cheat, people can act in a criminal way, and not just individual people, governments. Examples, the Nazi regime, Russia, during the communist era, where religion was suppressed, where faith in God was officially suppressed by the government. Well, those governments were governments that killed, committed atrocities, despite all their education and in Germany, for instance, they excelled in science, in poetry, in literature, in the humanities, but yet they were not humane at all. On the opposite, when there is no faith in God, there is no fear of God, then in the name of science, in the name of all sorts of irrational ideologies, people can justify the most atrocious crimes, and the Holocaust is one proof. So Abraham is telling Avimelech, since I observed that there was no fear of God in this place, then he was concerned for his life. And this is applicable to every day and age. Also in our day and age, when things have gotten so much easier thanks to technology, and there's a certain amount of affluence and abundance, people can come to a point where they take everything for granted and they forget that it's all made possible for Hashem. And every society that does not include faith and fear of God is a society that is doomed to do things that are totally against humanity, against people. They can justify anything. Because as the ideologies change, you can justify any type of behavior and any type of crooked type of thinking. But it's an interesting thing at the end of that episode. Avraham prays for Avimelech and his people to be healed after Sarah is returned to Avraham harmless. Avraham prays for Avimelech, and Hashem not only heals Avimelech, and now the ladies of that country are able to give birth, the orifices then are open, things are flowing. Right afterwards, the Parashah tells us about Sarah becoming pregnant with Yitzchak and giving birth to Yitzchak. And from this, Chachamim learn a very big lesson. And anyone who prays for Chavero, anyone who prays for another person, he'll be answered first. And therefore, if you can pray for another person, and I've seen sometimes people in Shidduchim looking for a spouse and looking for someone to marry, they pray for a friend to find a spouse. and then they themselves are answered, just like Avraham here prayed for Avimelech, and then the people of Avimelech were able to have then children, but Avraham was answered and his wife became pregnant right away, and then she had a child, which was Yitzchak. And these are two important lessons to learn from that episode in the Parashah of this week. The importance of Yirat Hashem and the importance to pray for others. And you yourself will be answered because you cared for another person. You cared for the other people to do well or to get their needs. You'll be answered yourself for the need if you have the same need as that person. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.